G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Enno here from Fantasy Take TV. Today we'll be going over the round 4 review. Long weekend, the old Easter weekend, so happy Easter to everyone out there. It was a bit of a dull one, to be honest. The weather wasn't great, pretty cold. Didn't get up to a hell of a lot. Watched North with a few mates on Friday. Old Tom actually beat him in draft this week, so couple lost Tommy, but they were looking all right. Then a few other games at Tiggs was hard to watch for the most part. I mean, I was up and about in the second quarter, but second half just was deplorable. Like, was Dimmer telling them that it was wet weather footy? Like, we've usually been absolutely elite in wet weather over the years, but not on the weekend. Just over handballing, overusing. It was hard to watch at times, and Lynch out for a while, Nank out for a while. So look, at least in round 4, I know the Tigers season is over, and I don't have to worry about that too much. But I guess that brings us to the SuperCoach team, because that's probably what I'll be riding for this year. Going decently, so just under 2,200, and was looking actually really good up until today. Sitting at, I think so 200 points I must have got out of my 3 players today, which was Sicily, very disappointing. Warple, just so-so, and then C-Mac, who's just pretty much playing exclusively forward at the moment. So I think I was 1996 heading into today, and only got 200 points out of them. So I was looking for hopefully a 2,300. A little bit Clary captain yesterday wasn't amazing. 120 will take, but obviously missed English VC, unfortunately. Lost a few points there. And then so I mean, look, can't complain. I think 10 out of 10 league wins, usually that's a good sign, in the sort of leagues I'm in with some competitive players, that you've had a good week, and that was the case. Sort of halved my rank from almost 5,000 to 2.5. So we'll take that, and we'll get into the team, see what we can do this week. There's some ideas here. There's some few rookies around, that we could consider, so we'll look at those, but we'll just go over my team first. Jordan Dawson, I mean, I probably tweeted about him too much over the weekend, but how couldn't you with that performance he had on Saturday Arvo? 27 touches, 26 of them effective, 20 of them kicks. Like, he just such a good player to watch when he's on form. Kicked a nice goal as well. It's just completely dominant. I think he got 3 frees and they were all holding the balls. 4, like, he was just immense in that midfield, and against Freo, who are just looking pretty woeful this year. He was amazing. Dacos, ridiculous. Like, never seen someone just in positions and begging for the football more than that kid. And when he gets it, he always uses it well. So he's going to break the system this year, and he's going to be 650 at some. Like, he's just going to go. And until his team start actually putting a lot of attention into him. He's just going to keep scoring, and honestly, I don't even know if that's going to work. It's like just the way the kid plays. Sicily was a disappointing one, as I said before today. Obviously, had to play on Cameron and Hawkins a bit, and probably mostly Cameron it was, and Jez is just unbelievable. But just, the second half, especially, like, Hawks just went to water. It was like almost 40 inside 50s to 7, and while the ball's down there a lot, for opportunities for Sicily, the weather wasn't great, but it just wasn't in their hands. Like, it was all Geelong, 10 goals or something. I mean, I think it was like 100 points to like 10 after that, a certain point. So they got dominated. But unfortunately, Sicily wasn't sort of, able to get on the end of it. I think he only had 14 touches in the end, so it wasn't great. Jinby, everyone sort of, has and fields, so, nothing too concerning there with him. Obviously, it doesn't help his cash in a bit, sort of halts that, but I'll be holding him and fielding him. I think maybe Simo had some word of resting some younger players. Hopefully he's not one of them, but we'll happily keep fielding him. McKenna, obviously really good. Keep fielding him week in, week out. And then Cowan, I rolled the dice with Wilmot after looping him and gained a point out of it. So every point counts. We gained one there, but we might have to field. We'll definitely have to field one of them, maybe 2 this week, depending on Jinby. But so defense is looking okay. Obviously, can't wait to get Sheasel up there at some point, and then obviously others that have Zeeble as well, be able to put them into the defense next week. Midfield, so I did VC Bont and then C Clary rolled that. So I lost the point I gained with Cowan there. I lost back with Clary over Bont, but obviously missed the English VC in that game. Bont had like 12 tackles, almost 30 touches, I think, or something, but just a lot of handballs. And just didn't kick it a lot. It only had like 170 metres gained or something, which for Bont is really low. So I wasn't able to go bigger than that. And then Clary just sort of worked his way into the game. A lot of handball clangers early, and that probably hurt him because the way the game went, sort of second half just turned into a blowout. So, Grundy was getting a lot of points and scaling and whatnot. And Clary, obviously, I think he had 20 at quarter time, so it wasn't huge. Tom Green, a lot of touches. Just, again, a lot of handball clangers and clanger kicks as well. Just didn't use it too great. So, look, I'm not concerned with the amount of ball he's getting. A lot of contested. As long as he just cleans that efficiency up, he'll have some big scores and we'll still be able to hold on to him for a while. So, I'm not too concerned about him. Setterfield, the role's there. I mean, maybe the time on ground's gone down a little bit, but he's still, in the main four mids, and obviously when he's on the ground playing all midfield time, so he'll keep going all right. Hopefully there's another 110, 120 in there pretty soon, but I'm happy to keep holding on to him. I know his break even's shot up a little bit because that 140 is sort of out of his cycle, so it's up to sort of 85, but I'm okay with keeping him and hopefully still getting some 90s, 100s, hopefully, as I said, some 110s. In the not too distant future, and then at some point upgrading him to someone like a Laird or something for about 100k, hopefully. Hopper, really disappointing second half. Spent a lot of time on the bench. Literally only scored like 10 or so points in the second half or something, which was disappointing. Maybe 15. But again, another one with setters I'm sort of okay holding. Still a really low break even at 15. So he's going to stay in my team for another week at least, and could be longer than that. Just hopefully spends a bit more time on the ground. It was really weird late. He was off for like half the fourth quarter. So hopefully turns that around. Warple, looks solid again without being great. Going at 80 this year. Hopefully, we were hoping for some 90, 95 type averages and scores. Obviously, last week didn't help him too much, and that's shot his break up even up a bit because those sort of 90s he was getting earlier going out of his cycle. So I'll probably hold him one more. I know they've got GWS this week who have been okay to score on, but it's not looking good. He's probably going to have to go at some point soon. Whether or not it's this week, I'll think about it. Ashcroft, not too bad. Keep going with him. He's going to be a star. Still got some money to make. And then McKenzie, unfortunately, has been, as I said, playing a lot forward the last couple of weeks, which is really hurting him. So it's sort of a weak spot in my team, M8, as well. Especially, don't want to mention the bench, but when you look at that bench, not great. And adding Rouse into that as I did. So, look, I did Darcy to English and funded that through Goda down to Rouston. That's the only way I sort of could have afforded it, as you see, with 4K in the bank. So that's the route I went. Obviously would have got Phillips, and I was telling everyone to get Phillips on stream on Thursday night as well. Looked decent. I think he keeps his spot at least for the next week or two. And I think Rouston does too. It's just, unfortunately, his TOG's really low. Doesn't find a heap of it. He used it really well. I think he had 100% disposal efficiency. So, unfortunately, that was from only 7 touches. But not going to be great. Not going to make a hell of a lot of money. Hopefully, can get to 200 plus, and anything above that is a bit of a bonus. 150 is probably hard to see, but we've got him. Baker, obviously, 95 was probably more of an anomaly than not. And then sort of same with Alwyn, who's probably expendable if you wanted a rookie or needed to find one that has to go this week. He'd probably be the one. English, as I said, missed the VC with him. Didn't think he'd go that well in the wet, but the man is a cheat code. Almost had 10 tackles or something again. 20 touches, kicked a couple of goals as well. One of them, nice soccer off the ground. He's just everywhere. It's just ridiculous. Like, it's just not someone I wanted to watch week in, week out, not in my team. So with what's happening in the rucks, Witt's laid out, unfortunate for those who own. Who's the other one? DC, injury. Nank's injured now as well, not highly owned, but I know a few went him. And then you got your Shrek, obviously, who I traded, had a good week. Not down the man, but just didn't really trust Freo. And Marshall's obviously the one that people are starting to get a little bit fed up with. I'm not personally. I think obviously subbed out in the start of the fourth quarter pretty much. Was unable to turn that score into something bigger, which he would have. Comes up against Collingwood this week with absolutely no ruckman on the list that's fit. So we should have a big week in store, and then should start to get going for the rest of the season. And then obviously Madden got there as a loop. Dunks has been pretty disappointing. Can't lie about that. For what we paid for him, but he's clearly going to be a top 3 forward. The roles there, he's like 90% CBA mid. It's going to be fine. Obviously, his efficiency isn't always the best. Him and Neil and Ashcroft still figuring it out. It's a new dynamic in there. That's two. Neil's the only constant. Lyons isn't playing anymore. McCluggage has been sent out to a wing, half forward. So Dunks, Ashcroft, and Neil have still got some synergy to create. It'll come at some point. Timmy T pretty ghosted in the first quarter. So basically got all of his score, pretty much 110 of that in 3 quarters. So yeah, not concerned with Timmy. He never was. Yeah, his disposal was not great at the best of times, but he finds the footy, tackles well. And is playing majority in the midfield, so he'll be fine. Rosie was actually a little bit concerning, got tagged early, but actually scored well with the tag. Had a few, a lot of contested ball there, and then sort of went missing in the third quarter or so. Had some big moments late. I think, kicked a goal, did he or not, in the last quarter, but then sort of faded out and lost some points as well. With that close game scaling, in the last 10 minutes or 5-10 minutes, he didn't do a hell of a lot, and he lost. I think he went down from 90 odd back to 84. So fantasy numbers weren't great. Didn't find a hell of a lot of it. So hopefully that turns around against the Dogs this week, but that's not an easy matchup as well. Goulden was good in the second half, so I think he's first half a lot of forward time, and then second half absolutely flipped, and he really got going. A lot of tackles there as well, and just a lot of meaningful touches. Doesn't have to touch it a hell of a lot to score well, which is what we love about Goulden, because he can, as I said, play a bit more forward time than we'd like, or a bit more than we'd like, but can still score well in that role. If he was unleashed fully in the midfield, he'd be 110 plus averaging player. So hopefully that comes at some point, and Horse sort of switches on. But I've got a few guys that run through there: Rowbottom, Mills, Parker, Chad as well. So it's hard to fit them all in, and he does really good things up forward as well. So it's probably going to stay that way, but you'd love it to be more. Shees was ridiculous. The kid is just nuts. F1 probably going to be for the foreseeable future, and unless that role changes, which I don't see it happening, at least till the second half of the year. So DPP is going to be nice. Going to be really good to flex with the back line, see what's happening there with the rookies. So that's really good. And then Chandler sort of worked his way into the game, but sort of with Clary, the scaling unfortunately was really quiet early, so had to do quite a bit to get some points. Kicked a nice goal, a few score assists, a couple of goal assists, score assists in SuperCoach. So he's going to be good. Few decent matchups coming up as well. So happy to keep fielding him. Radigalia, nice surprise to get that today, an 88 here, and really kickstart some cash. And I think his break even's now -12. So I was set on trading him to a JVR this week, and he's made it really hard, as has Fergus Green with his 70 odd today. So got some headaches now on who to trade out. Not something I'd thought I'd have. But the fact that they're all sort of forward eligible only, obviously Radical can go the rucks, but I've already got my loop there. It makes it a little bit hard on, JVR is someone I'd probably really want to get in. And then Samson's an option now as well with Nank injured and Lynch as well. I guess he's going to have to play a bit of ruck, bit of forward. He's locked in the team now. But it's a bit hard there, knowing that if I trade out Alwyn Davey or whatever, I have to send a forward to the midfield and field another one of those rookies, like field Radigalia week in, week out, or Fergus or Samson. So it's a bit hard there. That's how the team sort of went. Let me know how you went. I'm guessing JVR's coming in. The problem is, as I said, who's coming out? Let's just say it's Alwyn for now. Send Goulden or someone to the midfield, and then I grab JVR, just hit complete. It just means I have to fit, obviously Chandler's fieldable every week, I think, but I'm going to have to, maybe a loop, Van Rooyen with Green if that's possible this week, which I think it is. So we just chuck the emergency on Van Rooyen. If he's all right, take the score. But yeah, that's something. Samson's someone I want to look at as well, to be honest. I know he's 150-ish with, I think, a 19 break even. So with the ruck time going up, as I expect it will now, with Nank out for a while, he's someone you can definitely look at. Do I just trade Green out now? It's hard. He's dropped to 70 there, negative break even. He could make, a bit of cash coming up soon as well. A few 40s and he makes some more money. Is it worth just flipping him to Samson? I'm not too sure, but I think JVR has to come in. He's gone well enough. D's have got some decent matchups coming. He could make a quick 100k and then some upside if he kicks some bags in the near future. Then we've got to sort of sit on Warple. What are we doing with Warple? Are we downgrading him to a, I could do that and send another forward to the mids, but the structure doesn't really suit. And we still got to think about, D6 there with Cowan and Wilmot. Got to want to fix that up soon at some point. Maybe that's through a Sheasel next week. But but a few decisions to make here with the structure and what I'm going to do. But other than that, overall happy with the team and the premiums I've got. There's a few guys we're going to look at it. Laird's dropping. I think Sinclair's dropping a bit in price. Obviously, Sicily, if you don't have him, you'd be someone he'd be looking at, but obviously I do. Cogs, it's hard. Cogs and Doherty are the two that are really, really big topic points at the moment with everyone, a lot of ownership there and the poor performances and the amount of money they're dropping. So they're ones to think about. Let me know, as I said, how you went. Happy, as I said, with how my team's sitting, but some decisions to be made with what rookies to get and how to get them. So gather around next week. We'll see how that goes over in Adelaide. I'm sure George will be loving that. But thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Cheers.